Oh, what's up YouTube? The Gaming Gift here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, and today we're going to be talking about what 5Ds has done for the game as a whole. It's going to be a multiple-parter talk series that I'm going to be doing on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Synchro summons. There are only 15 at the moment, so there aren't that many, and there isn't much support for them at the moment, which is understandable. 5Ds literally just came out last week, so we'll be seeing more support for this in the future. I do kind of understand why they took a little more lax approach to the mechanic, because synchro summons can get a little spammable and broken. So they took a little bit of a lax approach with what we have, and so we just had to play with what we got, and we're going to see more support in each box in the future, so look forward to that stuff, guys. But yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about the synchro summons, which one's the best for their archetype, and which one it sounds good on paper but just doesn't really cut it. But anyway, let's get to talking. Azure Eye Silver Dragon, love this card. Level 9, needs one or more non-tuner monsters. Normal tuner monsters. When any special summon dragon monsters you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects to the end of the next turn. Once per turn, during your standby phase, you can target one normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. And it's fantastic. Obviously, you're using this for Blue Eyes decks. Great. Fantastic card. Blue Drago. I'm having a lot of fun with this card. You can send one Gemini from your hand to the graveyard. Target one spell trap on the field, destroy it. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you select one Gemini in your graveyard and special summon. This special summon Gemini is treated as an effect monster and it gains its effect. Very nice. Honestly, I've been playtesting this in a Gemini deck. It's a lot of fun. I love it. Great stats, 3,000 attack, 2,600 defense. Great card, all around. Whoopsie. Gusto Eagles. Eagle. I don't know why they just dropped the A. You can banish one wind monster from your graveyard to target one face down card your opponent controls and destroy that target. Solid stats. 2,600 attack, 1,800 defense. Good stats, good effects, good back row support. Very nice. Flamevell Quizzes. Yeah. During your battle between the attacking card and defense position monster, whose defense is lower than the attack of this card, inflict the difference as battle damage to your opponent. This card gains 300 attack each time and inflicts battle damage to your opponent. 2,100 attack, it constantly gets stronger, but 400 defense is very economical. So, kind of good for the beatdown. He is a pyro. So you can stuff him into like your fire decks and everything, or just use him as a general synchro monster, because you can just use anything really to get this guy out. But the 400 defense is very lacking. It's very easy to just switch to defense, which a lot of cards do. Yugioh needs a Genix controller and an Earth monster. Once per turn, you could, if you control a face-up level 4 or lower Genix monster, you can switch it the original attack and defense of this card for as long as that face-up card is still on the field. 1,800 attack and 2,800 defense, which swap is 2,800 attack and 1,800 defense. It sounds good on paper, honestly, but it's not all that great, considering that you have to make sure that that controller stays alive, or that level 4 Genix monster stays alive, in order to use this card when it's good for it. But all in all, it's a good stall wall if you need it, and the attack stats is still pretty nice. Gigantic Castle, I like this card. Could be splashed into any deck. It gains 200 attack and defense for each non-tuner synchro material monster used to synchro summon this turn. 2,900 attack and 2,800 defense. This thing can be a stall wall if you need it, but with that crazy amount of defense, it's more than likely jumping up to 3,100. This thing's a massive powerhouse. No crazy effect, but it's going to be pretty hard to take this thing down unless they have cards to destroy right away. Gravity Warrior. This card is synchro summon that gains 300 attack for each face-up monster your opponent controls. Once per turn, during your opponent's battle phase, you can target one defense position monster your opponent controls. Change it to attack position. It also it must attack if able. So that doesn't specify attack this card, so you have to be really careful with that second effect because it could just attack anything else that they have on the field. So watch out for that one. I have used it a few times now. It's a pretty neat effect, but it doesn't see much play. Hydrogenics, he's Genix controller, and a water monster. Gains attack points equal to the attack of the destroyed monster. Solid attack stats, 2300, 1800 defense. Junk Berserker, I love this card. I know its effect offhand. You can banish a junk monster from your graveyard, target a monster, and loses the attack permanently. The attack of the banished monster, and when it attacks the defense position monster, just destroy it. I love this card. Solid stats, 2700 attack, 1800 defense. This thing's a fucking monster. It's kind of very hard to take this card down, considering that by the time you get this thing out, you have a few junks to work with in your graveyard. So, they're blue eyes, you can just slap this out and they lose 1300. They're red eyes, same thing. They're anything on the field, really. Junk Warrior, we all know what Junk Warrior does. Great card. Great card. Oh, didn't mean to go that way. Stardust Dragon, we should all know what that does by now. I'm not including the other ace cards at the moment. Only because, one, yes, they aren't in a box, but two, those cards can only be attained through a skill and have no support in a specific box like Stardust does. I'm going to wait to talk about those cards when they get more support for their specific thing in the future and not just how they impact decks right now. I want to wait and see what they can get in the future and how they can impact other decks while impacting their own. But anyway, everyone should know what Stardust does by now. When a card would be destroyed that you control, you can banish this real quick. Or is it just destroy? Yeah. You can destroy this guy. He comes back next turn and negate the destruction of your card. It's funny, you don't really see this effect used all that much, really. 2500 attack and 2000 defense is nice stats. It's pretty easy to get out, but you really don't see this effect used all that often like you would in the TCG. It's weird, because there are a lot of cards that do destroy it. But anyway, Windmill Genix control, and a Wind Monster. Okay, so we had attack for each spell and trap on the field. You can send one card from your hand to the graveyard and select and destroy one said spell or trap card. And it's kind of counterintuitive because his attack and defense aren't all that great at 2000 and 1600, but hey, that's back row. It's at least decent. X-Saber Soza. You contribute an X-Saber monster. You do need an X-Saber monster to get this guy out. Then choose one of the effects. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a monster, just destroy it. Or he cannot be destroyed by trap effects. More than likely, you're going to go with the second one because trap effects are pesky. X-Saber Wayne. I use this in my Synchro decks. My Junk Synchro deck. When you Synchro summon, special summon a level 4 or lower warrior type from your hand. He has the exact same stats as our Flamevel. You are, honestly, I see this guy have a lot more play than the Flamevel guy, even though it's specific for warrior monsters. But it adds to rush and beatdown. So the stats I can kind of overlook. And then X-Saber Hutenlay. I hate this card, but I love it. When this card is Synchro Summon, you can select and destroy up to 3 spell or trap cards on the field. It requires 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner X-Saber monster. And that's it. So out of all these, in the comments below, before I actually get into my opinions, what do you guys think is the best out of these right now? What cards do you think do best for any kind of decks at the moment? So I'm going to get into what I think. What card sounds best on paper? Sounds best on paper. I think it's gonna have to be Geogenics. While it doesn't have a crazy effect, and I'm not talking about like the effect itself is best when looking on paper. It has the best on paper ability out of these cards. When looking at its ability, you think, hey, that's actually pretty neat. I could turn this into a 2800 attacker relatively easily. It's not really the case. You have to make sure that level 4 that you used before, and make sure he stays alive. Mostly because you're not really going to be playing that many level 4 Gen X monsters, considering that the tuners don't really mesh well, especially since most of them need Gen X controller, and he's only at level 3. And then just while you have to try and keep that card alive, he's only sitting at 1800 attack and 20. Sure, he's a great stall wall, but it's real easy to just econ take. It's real easy to just pop off the field in this game. So honestly, Yugioh Gen X has the best on paper sounding ability, but in actual practice, it's just not. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to run. Not worth it to try out, because you could just be playing the other Yugioh Gen X, the other Yugioh, or Gen X, I should say. You could play the other Gen X synchros over this guy any day. Their stats aren't that impressive, but they have better abilities and better back row stuff. So yeah, that's the best sounding on paper. Which card has the best effect for a specific archetype? Honestly, I gotta give it to XX Saber Hyunlei. Cause let's be honest here. You're gonna be playing this in a warrior beatdown style deck. So more than likely you're gonna be using Joey Field of the Warriors or something else to up the power of warrior monsters. While something like Azure Eyes is consistent in bringing monsters back to the field, what this card really excels in is literally just killing their entire back row. You can select and destroy up to 3 spells or traps. So you can just destroy anything they currently control just by synchro summoning this girl. And 2300 attack and 1300 defense, while she's easily econable. More than likely, you're going to be destroying the econ they had set face down on the field, so they're going to be forced to try and change something anyway. This thing is absolutely fantastic for just wrecking their shit. You do have to be careful though, because if you do click on yes, and you've already selected, say they only have 2 cards, and you've already selected up to their 2 cards, you have to select that 3rd one, so just be a little careful with that. But she's going to get an insane power boost from anything that you're going to be using in Joey, and there are X-Saber cards that buff up the power of X-Saber monsters. So, honestly, for the archetype that is, this card's a freaking beast. And literally slaughters back row, which is the most pesky thing in this game so far. Monsters and stuff you can deal with pretty easily with your own spells and traps. All you gotta do is wipe out their back row and you're pretty solid. Now, what card is the best synchro in general? The best synchro in the game right now, honestly, out of everything that they do, out of everything that they offer, it's honestly a tie for me between Azure Eye, Silver Dragon, and Junk Berserker. While other cards do have a lot of utility, these two just apply pressure like you would not believe. Especially since both of them are insanely easy to get out. Only Junk Berserker needs a level 3 and a level 4. Easy peasy. This thing, you don't even have to fucking work for it. Half your deck is going to be tuners, and you can pop out of Blue Eyes like it's nothing. But that's not why we're talking about it. Their effects and the way they affect a deck is phenomenal. Any deck that you put them into, yes, while you need Junk Synchron for Junk Berserker, that would make it an archetype card. Still looking at the effect of what it does for the deck in general. While Hyunlei is best for the archetype over like Junk Berserker or say Azure Eyes because of the way it supports the deck in general, this just applies pressure just because it's the card you need. It's the card you go into. This is basically your main card of the deck. That's what I'm trying to get at. Whereas Hyunlei supports the whole deck, these guys just come out and like, yeah, this is my ace card of my deck. This is my hero. Here we go. This is the guy. Whoops. That's the guy you're going to be going into for the plays. That's what's making your deck versus Hyunlei supporting your whole deck. Anyway, I keep saying that over and over. grab that off. So Junk Berserker, like I said, you can banish a junk monster from your graveyard, and they lose the attack permanently, depending on the attack of the monster banished. And then it just destroys a defense position monster straight out flat. No attacks, no nothing. So you can already see why this card's a fantastic card, especially since he's so easy to get out with Junk Synchro already being level 3, and half the deck is strapped with level 4s like Junk Servant and Junk Warrior. Or not Junk Warrior, Junk Blader. And then on the Azure Eyes, like, you're popping out Blue Eyes every single turn, and he has 3,000 defense, so if you're up against a heavy monster, you can always just switch it to defense mode, rely on your traps real quick. He's a good stall wall. Like, there isn't really much more to be said about why these cards are the best synchros currently on their own in the game. They're just incredible. While yes, Azure Eyes does technically support the deck as a whole, to be honest, while there are plenty of ways to get out Blue Eyes, if you can't pop out Azure Eyes, all those Blue Eyes are easily susceptible to traps. At least if you get out Azure Eyes, you have a 2-turn clearance for your Blue Eyes to be like, yeah, you can't touch me, motherfucker. You know what I mean? So that's why, so yes, you can argue that Azure Eyes is only good for the deck, but without Azure Eyes on its own, Blue Eyes is susceptible to everything else. So, much like Moonlight, you can, like I said, you can argue that it's best for the archetype. I still think it's just best in general because you don't even need it for Blue Eyes. You can use this in Red Eyes, you can use this in, shit, if you want to play Rabbit Dragon, go ahead and play Rabbit Dragon, you know, like, it doesn't specifically have to be for Blue Eyes because you can just target one normal monster in the graveyard. So you can fool around with Red Eyes and any other normal dragon monsters that you possibly have. So that's why I'm giving it the tie between Junk Berserker and Azure Eyes. But that'll do it for this video. This is the first part of the video. Guys, let me know what you think. How are synchros for you guys? How is the mechanic for you? How has it affected the game for you? How has it affected the game in general? What do you think is the best synchro? What's your favorite synchro? Personally, my favorite synchro, it's Junk Berserker. Not being biased, giving him the Top Gun of the game so far, but I just love the art of this card. Look at it. He's a fucking beast. Excuse me. But yeah. So what are your favorite synchros? What's this? What's that? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Look forward to part 2. Part 2, I'm more likely going to be talking about the characters and how they impact the current game and what they're good for and what you can grab from them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Look forward to more stuff in the future, especially some more Dokkan stuff because I pulled the MVP. Not many of you are going to know that. But yeah, so look forward to more content on the channel. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. The Gaming Gift signing off. Have a wonderful day.